Alrighty. Day 3, solving these puzzles. Got a 3 out of 10 to start. Then looks like we jump to 6, and then a 10 out of 10 to end it. So, let's see how we do. Alrighty, we scroll, and let's get the timer. Alright. So right off the bat, we have this 8 plus 5. That's going to be a 2. Let me just turn that off just to not be distracted. 6, 5, 1. That's going to be a 4. And then we have this as 19, 20. So this is a 6 here, which is nice. Right? 20 is 45 minus 6. Yep. And oops, that's there. Okay, and then this is like that. And there we go. Let's see, what else do we got? That's interesting. This is an interesting one. So we should be able to figure out what these are. So this is 46. There we go. Nice and neat. And similarly over here, this is going to be an 8. And fortunately, it really works out well to solving all of these. Okay. Oh, and then we have here, this one is nice because these two interact deconstructively. So it's always going to end up like this. Like if you had it be 2, 4, then this is not even a possible square anymore. So that's always nice, and that actually solves this, which solves this. What else do we got? 6 here means no 7 here. No 1 in this 32 block. And this is a 3, 4. And this is 1, 8. Right? Because 2, 3, 4. Yep. Which makes this a 2, 5. And which makes this a 6, 8. And that makes this a 4, 7, 9. Which then turns this into a 3, 8. And once again, things just sort of starting to fall into place here. 5, 7, 9. Let's see, that's 6, 8, 7, 9, 4. And what else do we got? We got a 6 here. 4 there. That cannot be a 7, 9. So that has to be 1, 3. And there we go. Solves that one. And solves that one. And then this ends up being a 7, 9 here, which is 16. Leaving 16 to fend for itself here. If this is 2, not possible, so it has to be 3. Because if it were 2, then it would be 18, 14, without a 9 or 6. It's just not possible, so it has to be 3, which forces this to be 2. 3 plus 16 is 19, leaving 13, which makes this a 5, 8. Puts 8 there. And, oh, wait. Maybe it has to be a 2, or maybe something else is wrong. It probably has to do with that. I think I did my math right. Yeah. Yeah. Right. Yeah. That makes this 1, 2, 3. That's 8. That's 1. 42. Which, even if we assume okay, let's assume that we messed up somewhere. Right? It would have to be in this square that we messed up. Okay, so hold on. Let me just back up. It would have to be there, which was influenced by that. Right? Because everything else is pretty evident. This has to be a 6. And this has to be like this. So what's wrong here? This can't be 2, 4, because if it's 2, 4, that eliminates this, which makes this 1, 4, 3. And that's just because of the fact that there's a 2, 5 there. And that makes this 3, 4. Which makes this a 1, 8, which makes this a 2, 5, which makes this 6, 7, 9. That makes this 6, 8. Okay, so that was where my issue was. That wasn't a 7, 9 pairing. That's where my issue was. Okay. And then this. Okay. Okay. I see. 4, 6, 2, 8, 3, 7, 1, 9. Now things are making more sense. 15. Plus 3 is 18, so this has to actually be a 2 now. Okay. Now we're getting somewhere. 17, so 15, 7, 8. That's a 4. This is 13. 2, 3, 4, 5. It's going to be 14, right? Yeah, 14, 7. Okay, this is still 3, 8. So all of that was right. I wonder if that's what got people tripped up, is that simple little mistake. I wonder if that's actually what trips people up a lot of the times. Are those just like little careless entries, I would call them? 16. 1, 2, 3. let's see. What else? Sorry. I had to move my cat out of the way. All right. Eight. Now we're getting into weird spots. Okay, this has to be 5. That's gotta be 9. Oops. You know, I'm gonna look back on this video and I think I'm gonna be annoyed with myself for missing some of these, or letting them sit for so long, I guess is the better way to phrase it. Yeah, this could have been a lot better, a lot cleaner, but just didn't happen. And sometimes this is the way it works. 8 here, 6. And yeah, I mean, this was solved pretty quickly. I just had a mess up that one spot. 11:45. Not necessarily like super happy with that, but it'll do. So let's move on to the next puzzle. Puzzle 6. Okay, so we got this. I don't know why it keeps popping that up. I thought that was supposed to go away, but I guess not. Are there any shapes? I guess there are, technically. Yeah, these are both shapes. Dang. Well, that's also a shape. That's nice. Oh, and also another shape. Okay, so let's do these. 11, 27, 35, 45, 55, 69, 82. And I'm going to try and refrain from actually looking at the solve this time around. Let's see, 18 plus 4 is 22, 42, 57, 63, 76, 82. No, missing something. 18 plus 24 is plus 9 plus 6. Or no, plus 9 plus 3. Yeah, so that's 42, 57. Oh, that's supposed to be odd. 64, 77, 83. Yeah. Oh yeah, and then we have this one here. Let's see, 29, 39, 50, 62, 73, 87. And put that. What else is there? I mean, I'm sure there's something and I'm just not seeing it. I'll count it, I think. No. No, I won't. I won't count this. No, I will. I will. Yeah, because that's that. Gotcha. Alright, so back to you. 42, 48, 52. 65, 90, 10, 6, 11, 8, 12, 4, 13, 4, 14, 6, 15, 7, 17, 3, 18, 6. And then this is that. And we'll say this. And I think that'll do for this. $30 over 5 isn't interesting. 18 over 3 is not. 11 doesn't have a 9 in it. I guess that's a triple of sorts. I mean, I know this to be that. What else do we got? So we know that is 6 now. Is there anything else? Maybe on that side? No. I mean, let's see what this adds up to. Because maybe it's just way too high. 22, 36. Or sorry. 22, 34. 50. 61. Which is 16 over 3. Cat's having fun. I mean, we could try this. Let's see. So this would either be 1 plus 7, which is 8. And this is already 46. So take away the 8, we get 38 plus 7. So it's gotta be Sum of here is either 7, and that can go all the way up to 11. 7 to 11. So no 9s here. Which means the 9's there. So that's nice to know. Which means the 9's in here. Which means 9's here. So basically the way this worked out was this sums up to 46. Which means if we take away the sum of these, we get 1 less in these 3. Because it's just how it would work out math-wise. So 1 plus 7 is 8, so the lowest it could be is 7. Right? Because if we took away 8 from 46, we get 38. We then add 7 to get up to 45 and fill out the square. The highest it could be was 3 plus 9, which is 12, which means the highest it could be is 11. So, since this could only be up to 11, similar to the rules that we have here, where, what's it called? This cannot have a 9 in it. This couldn't have a 9 in it, because there's no set of digits that would require 3 boxes that could add up to and include a 9. Rather, that could include a 9. And then to eliminate the 9, oh, wait. Okay, see, this is why I like talking through my stuff. Okay, so to eliminate the 9, so we know 9 can't be here, so 9 would have to be one of these 3 boxes. This is why I talk through, right? So I guess that would mean that if a 9 is here, the 9's here. If a 9's here, the 9's here. So nowhere else can have a 9. Yeah. Why did I think this couldn't be a 9 before? Was there a reason? No, I don't think so. I think I just didn't think about it. But this is why we talk through. Sometimes it's pointless, sometimes it's actually worth something. Okay, so now we should at least look at this. So we know no 7s. Yeah, see, that's annoying. Because none of these actually stop anything. I guess it makes it so that way. This is either a what's it called? 2-5 or a 3-4, so it cannot be 1-6. So that's something, I guess. This can't be 8. These couldn't be 1, 2. So if it was 1, 4, 8, this has to be where the 8 is, and this would be 1, 4. And then if it was 2, 5, 6, 2 would have to be up here. 2, 5 or 2, 6, and then 1, 4. Okay. Okay. And like I suspected, this doesn't really say much. Oh, that's nice. Alright, so the way this worked out was these 3s and 8s all get eliminated. And then 149 would make this 10 impossible. 167 make this 10 impossible, so it's got to be 257. Which means that that is an 8, which puts this as a 1-9. Which means that this can no longer be 148, which makes this a 256, which makes this 3-4. That becomes 4-6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, that was pretty good. That was pretty spiff. That's an 8. 2, 5, 7. Look at this go. Okay. This becomes this, which means that now this adds up to 8. Okay, so can't. Adds up to 9. Or sorry. Can't be 8. Can't be 7. So it has to be 9, which puts 9 here, as we established before. Which makes this 4, 5. Which makes this 1, 6, 8. And this is gonna be 2, 6. Really pulling things together. That was a really clever thing, by the way, that just happened. Yeah, no, I'm happy about that. Basically, because of the fact that we already knew that this had to add up to make this into a sizable 3, if it was a 7, it would have to add up to 8, and this would be 7, which would be 1, 2, 4. There. Oh. You know, once again, talking through your solutions really helps. So this would be 1, 2, 4. If this is 7, if this is an 8, there's definitely a 1. And then if there's a 9, then it's 10, which makes this a 9. Yeah. Talk through your solutions, kids. Really helps. Almost screwed that up. I mean, I hope it's still the same answers, but if it's not, then we just saved ourselves a lot of time. Four, 5, 6. Oh. Sorry. let's see. Is there anything else? Oh man, I don't even have an audience and I already feel bad. Okay, so this has to be 1. Okay, well that's good to know. $47. So now it's 2 less, which makes this 6, 5, or 4. Can't be 4. Can't be 5. Okay, so still this whole thing happens. But for far better reasons than what was happening before. Like for reasons that actually make sense. 2, 3, 4, 5, 8. And it still used the logic from beforehand too, so that's nice. Still leaves that as a teaching moment. Remember to always go back and double check what you're doing. And even if it turns out correct, it was still good. Still good to check. You know? Never hurts to check these things out. Can make it frustrating though. Okay, so we know 2's here. Okay, so this is actually a 3. Interesting. Unfortunately, I can't do anything with it, but it did look intriguing for a hot minute. Nothing. Really? Nothing? I know that's gotta be 8. The annoying part is that these are just huge, so it's kind of hard to justify. This probably can be solved at this point. Yeah. Yeah, when you eliminate that much, it's not certain, but it's pretty close to it. That you'll probably be able to solve it out. Always nice when those match up. Oh, I forgot about that relationship from way long ago. That these two were adding up to 6, and I completely forgot. This is why you try and avoid doing this so late, but it's where I'm at, you know? Makes that an 8. What else do we got? Anything? Anything? Oh, here we go. Bueller? Bueller, no. Sorry. I'm like mixing shit up. Nice. Nothing. How? How is that possible? That's fucking amazing. Okay. Alright, well, let's fill the rest of this in. I don't know how it's managing to do it. Let's see, 1735, because that can't be 8 anymore. Makes sense. That makes sense a lot of the time. I think that's all the 8s. That's all the 8s. Very nice. Always nice to just double check where, where these things are coming from. 5, 6, 7, 8 should be if it was 7, 8, 9, 6, 7, 8, 9, 35, so it should be 24. But it's not 24. What is this? 13, 13, 26. This is 4. And this is 22. Just had to do a little bit of extra math at the end to figure this one out. But once you did, you're able to get it. Okay. 26, 22. Not bad. I think average time on this was like 29 minutes, if I remember right, going in. So, not the worst. I try and stay above average if I can. Yesterday's puzzle obviously got the 6-minute clear, which was nice. Alright, so now we move on to puzzle 10. Yeah, 29-minute average. 16. Alright. Final puzzle for the day. And we already get a nice little thing here. And one here. And even one here. Which this one is 2. Very nice. Alright, these are all 8 plus 5 is 13. 16. 8. Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Not long enough. 2, 3, 4, 5. I think this has to be that. Can't be anything else. That's also there. This is a 7 now. At this point, I'm just trying to see if I can find shapes. If I can't find shapes, then we just go from there. 36 plus 19 is 55. So some of that less would be this, 15. Still fine. 1 is 11. So we know that it can't be 1 at least. So that's nice. We know 5 has to go here. And we know that. And what is this one? This is... Well, this is, what's it called? 15 over 3, but with a 5. So yeah, it doesn't really solve much, but it's at least something interesting to look at. And I think that's where that is. These are such interesting shapes is the thing. Like, it makes a perfect box here. Seeing that actually helps out because now I see this and this, and we have a 2 and a 7 and a 3 and a 5 impacting this. So let's look at this one first. 28, 38, 48, 53, 64, 72. No, that's not right. 28, 38, 43, or no, 53, 64. How am I getting 72 here? 82. Oh, because I forgot to add 1. So this is 8. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Very nice. Almost forgot about that. And now we don't even have to hold this addition. So this is 10, 11. And that actually means that this can't be a 5, 8 anymore. Can it be 5, 6? It can be 3, 4. Can be 1, 6. So if this is 5, 6, or sorry. Yeah. If this is 5, 6, then this is 3, 4. This is 3, 8. This is 1, 6. Is this always going to end up having a 6 somewhere up here? 1, 6, 3, 8, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. So that's actually that. Very nice. And we got 2, 5, 7 remaining out of it. Is there anything else we can do here? I guess we know that that's how that ends up. Is there ever a 1 up here? I don't know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we know that there's a 9 outside of this block. And not a 9, like the number 9, like a 9 total outside of this block. So this has to contain a 9 somewhere in here. And then the only numbers it's missing is a sum of 9. So either 1, 8, 2, 7, 3, 6, 4, 5. But at this point, I don't think we know enough to say for sure what is missing. We just know that something is missing. Yeah, like there's the 1, 8, there's the 3, 6, and there's the 2, 7. So I believe this is the 4, 5 one. Yeah. So 15, 11, or 13. I wish I could eliminate more digits here, because that's a very helpful box to figure out. What is this box? 24 over 4? I don't think I can do much with this. Yeah, but worth to check at least. Is there anything? Do we know what this equals actually? Hold on. No, right? We don't. I feel like we're so close though. Like if we did this. Nothing. I mean, we know this can't be 4, 6, so that's nice. Which means this can't be a 2, 9. Which means 4 is in here. And I don't think these really help out that much is the unfortunate thing. I mean, this eliminates 2s and 9s here, but 2's already eliminated and 9's not, but it basically is. Now I'm debating if I want to start off. I feel like this is going to be the most important space because this will tell me everything. So we can try. Let's try. So that forces this to be 11. Yeah, just nothing right now. Okay. Well, let's see if the other two end up as contradictions. Immediate contradiction. Don't worry about it, it's fine. So that makes us 13. Okay. No, 1's here, which means 8's gotta be in here. has to have a 9. Yeah, okay, that makes sense still. So that's going to be our that's going to be our thing that is missing is the 3-6 pair. Is that how that had to go with 4-6-9? Don't think so, but also 4-6-9 is just not possible. Okay, so not a 3. And finally, check our 5s. Yeah, so not a 5 either. So it has to be 1. Oh, that's frustrating. This is the one that had the least information available. But the way of things, it seems. Well, I guess we know this has to have the 8. Because this can't have an 8 in it. Because then it would have to have a 1 somewhere. And we know there's no 1 in it. So 8 has to be here. Yeah, that's some nice detective work. What else do we know? Two, 1, 9. That one we've known about for a while, but we just didn't write it down. Let's see, 2, 8, 9, 4, 7, 8, 5, 6, 8. I wonder if there's any other good spots. There doesn't seem to be good spots. There's a 4 there, then it becomes 5, 1, 2. Alright, let's try this. so this has to be 289 in this case. Okay. What was my guess here? My guess was there's a 4 there. I wasn't really concerned about where the 4 was, just that it was there. Okay, that doesn't tell me much, which is probably where it is. Because that's how these things usually work. Just how that usually goes. I think. Three, 8. Because, of course, that's how it always goes. Okay. This actually is leading me somewhere. Two, three, four, five. I feel like we've gotten somewhere now. Maybe I'm speaking too soon, but it definitely feels that way. Two, four, 9. It's gotta be 3, 7. Six, 6, 9. 1, 4. Why were those wrong? Well, first off, look up. Okay, so this is still 7. 2. Okay. Well, 3 should have been eliminated from here a while back. Three, 4, 7, 9. Six. I feel like I'm getting somewhere here. Well, that might be that might be a bit late on stating that. I think it's pretty clear that we're making progress. Yeah, and now it's just a matter of putting it all together. Seven, so that's 10. Okay. Seven. Nine. Three, four. Okay, we're in the driver's seat right now. That's kind of why I've gotten quiet. I just don't want to mess this up. I could finish ahead on all three puzzles, second straight day. I think for a while I've been trying to live without doing all the guessing and everything. And I still believe that that is a possibility, is to not guess. But it seems really hard to not guess. Like, I don't know, you have to be really you just have to be really on top of stuff. Sorry, I almost messed that up. I had to double check what I was doing. And I feel like there's some tricks that I don't know or haven't quite developed that would help me solve some of these some of these more difficult ones. Alright. Let me just get rid of this little window here. Okay, so at the end of it all, finished under, finished under, finished under. So, doing all good. Yeah, so a little bit longer than yesterday, but not too much longer. I think I'm starting to get the hang of these. Sorry for a little bit of the dead air time. I'm probably going to start putting in some like royalty-free background music into this. Just to, you know, just to have something playing while I'm not talking, because I think that would be much more entertaining to listen to, especially when I'm putting noise gating on the microphone. So I will see you all tomorrow. Thanks for watching.